Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that if you're returning. How you doing today? Well, today, I got something in the mail. And I'm like, how could this possibly happen? I constantly keep check on my credit report. Sean constantly keeps check on his credit report. We constantly keep check on our bank accounts, right? But I guess no matter how much you check, things slip right through the cracks, right? So with this, I got a letter in the mail that says, "Dear Sean, thank you for your recent application. Your request for a loan was carefully considered and we regret that we are unable to approve your application at this time for the following reasons." I'm not going to go into detail about why, whatever, but I called, okay? And they tried to take a loan out against our house through Goldman Sachs. Yeah. Now, you know what Goldman Sachs is, because we've discussed Goldman Sachs on this channel many, many times. Our identity was stolen once again. So I called Goldman Sachs. The person who did this, did it online, knew all of our information. Their only screw up, they didn't use our email addresses. No. They made up a fictitious email address. Because the girl on the phone said, well, the email address that we have here is this. Hi, Penelope. And I said, that's not my email address. That's not Sean's email address. And she goes, well, that's where their screw up was, isn't it? I said, yeah. So they're going to be sending us a copy of the application. But because it was done online, there's no actual signature, an actual signature. So I said, well, because it was done online, is there any way you can tell me what the IP address is? No. Okay. So I said, does this have anything to do with the data breach that happened with Homeland Security? Because you guys know that Sean works for Homeland Security. Because there was a Homeland Security breach, what was it, like 2-3 months ago. And when that happened, someone tried to take a loan out through FEMA. And when I'd called FEMA, I said, we never applied for a loan through FEMA. And she said, well, do you need any repairs done to your home? And I said, no. And she said, are you sure? She said, because we'll give you a loan. I said, no, I don't want a loan through FEMA. I said, I don't want any money through FEMA. And she said, okay. She said, well, someone did apply. She said, but, we won't give a loan out, because obviously you don't want it, nor do you need it. Come on, Penelope, get down, honey. Come on. Thank you. And so, lesson learned, kids, okay? Now we have to contact the 3 credit bureaus and put a credit freeze. This was done. This application was filled out because they actually gave me the time and the date of when this was filled out. The application was filled out online on October 30th of this year at 6:30 in the morning. Yeah. So, eyes and ears open, kids. Desperate times are calling for desperate measures for desperate people. Are they not? But you're screwing with the wrong people here. So, let's get into some topics. So grab your coffee. Grab some snacks. Healthy or unhealthy, whatever gets you through, you know? And let's get started. So, first thing that we're going to talk about is this. Beginning on November 15th, Charles County Public Schools are planning to switch to offering cold breakfast options only. The temporary change is a reflection of the nationwide supply chain issue for food products and supplies, which include hot breakfast food items, paper products, and other supplies. Menu food items are subject to change due to this supply chain issue as well. Every food and nutrition service, staff member, and manager are dedicated to providing meals as close to the menu as possible, but circumstances sometimes do not permit this. And that was said by Crystal Richardson. She's SNS. The administration and the school nurse at each school are informed daily of the menu changes through communication with the FNS manager on site. Students with food allergies are reviewed with anything that's on the menu that has to do with changes, okay? There may be times when CCPS is not able to provide what is on the online menu. However, meals are being provided free of charge to students for SY22 through a USDA waiver, and will be available for students that wish to dine with FNS. So this is just, this was sent to me, okay, by a subscriber. It's in Maryland, okay. Then this is, all of these articles that you guys send me are very, very interesting, okay. Now, there's 8 new grocery shortages that shoppers are reporting, okay, this week. And these shortages of so many products, okay, are likely to be the norm for this holiday season, as this month saw an arguably unprecedented number of shortages than any prior point, okay. This week is likely to kick off the start of the holiday madness, right? And if you're following along, you've got updated lists of grocery shoppers around the country that say are now disappearing from their local retail stores. Now, just imagine what will happen when the snow starts showing up, right? For those of us that live up north. And Sunday afternoon, there's something on subreddit sharing grocery shortages around the country, okay? And I've been sharing them on this channel as well. And there's a running list. And if you're thinking of going ahead to stock up proactively, you may want to read this too, okay? There's, on Thursday, there was something flagged that looks like a deficit of sandwich ingredients at a local Quick Check convenience store in Jersey. On their paper notice, store management apologized for running out of foods like mozzarella and cheddar cheese, avocado, cucumbers, chicken tenders, and ingredients for their Thanksgiving wraps and subs. We are happy to help you find an alternative, the note reads. Well, sometimes when you're making a specialty, there is no alternative. I don't know. Analyzing this is as an apparent part of a widespread issue. This is a regional gas convenience store chain that has a pretty good buying power, not a mom and pop sub shop buying for one store. So what is this, a Wawa? Is that what that is? Wawa? Because in Jersey, Wawa is like, you know, the go-to for subs. That's what I'm wondering. Now, on Saturday afternoon, what was also shared is to be bare shelves in the sauce aisle inside a local New Jersey ShopRite. Noted that most of the cheaper national brands were low in stock or out of stock. Ragu, Classico, Prego, okay? As was the store brand, they said. The more expensive local and regional brands were generally in stock at somewhat normal levels. In skillfully investigative mode, it was added that, in particular, this is unusual as Friday night after close is a big restocking night at this store. They know a couple of people that work there. I suspect that the stock dwindled over the last week or so, and there just wasn't enough to get it back to fully stocked on the shelf status. Or maybe they're just short on stockers, but they don't have any help when it signs up or whatever. So one person also pointed out a recent Canadian news report that revealed a possible connection between tomato products shortage and the forced labor in China. Another person highlighted a very interesting potential link or related to the fermentation issue in California a couple of months ago. Was that where the shipping containers of tomatoes has been sitting for so long that they started to explode and it was running all over the port? That's a really good question. That's a really good question. Okay. So then this was brought up about someone reported an egg shortage at a local coffee shop that led to a temporary halt to breakfast sandwiches. The barista said that they were out of all egg breakfast sandwiches due to an egg shortage at their vendor. Canned pumpkin. It was announced that the following discovery at Trader Joe's in the western U.S. is officially out of canned pumpkin. In a recent poll, some readers named Trader Joe's as the best supermarket chain for holiday appetizers. Okay. Turkey. An article suggested some turkeys, specifically those around 16 pounds, are selling faster and sooner than they did in 2020. Wow. Okay. So, holy smokes. All right. So, there's just a lot, kids. There's a lot going on. So then I wanted to touch on this because I didn't know if a lot of people heard about this or knew about this, okay? We have spoke about financials on this channel how many times? Every Friday night, really, right? And there's at least 18 billionaires and hundreds of other ultra wealthy individuals that, get this, received federal stimulus checks even though the payments were aimed at helping poor and middle income households weather the pandemic's economic crisis, according to a new report from ProPublica. About 270 wealthy people received payments in the first round of stimulus checks directed by lawmakers in 2020. Despite having a total of $5.7 billion in income, according to the report, which cited a trove of IRS data on thousands of the nation's wealthiest individuals, ProPublica said it had obtained. Now, These rich taxpayers receive stimulus checks after tapping complex tax deductions to reduce their net income to less than zero, qualifying them for the checks, the report noted. Under the law, the full payments of $1,200 per single taxpayer and $2,400 for married couples were only available to single people earning less than $75,000 or for couples less than $150,000. Including among the billionaires who received the stimulus checks, Soros with a net worth of $7.5 billion. According to Bloomberg Billionaires Index, and financier Ira Reinhart worth $3.7 billion. The report noted Soros' representative said he returned the check while Reinhart didn't respond to questions. BS. That's what I say, right? He didn't return that check. No, he didn't. So, to be sure, the bulk of stimulus payments were directed to households that legitimately qualified for the checks. But the fact that billionaires received the aid underscores how differently the U.S. tax system works for the ultra-rich. The 270 wealthy people who got the checks most certainly didn't request the payments. So the IRS automatically directed the aid to anyone it determined qualified by income. It may seem mind-boggling that a billionaire could qualify for a $1,200 check from a stimulus program with an income threshold of $75,000 per single taxpayer. But because these billionaires tapped write-offs, deductions, and other loopholes to minimize their incomes, they appeared to the IRS to have net incomes of less than zero, making them eligible for payments. How is that possible? If we have one screw up on our income tax checks, or when we're filing for income tax, audit. So explain that. Explain that to me. I need an explanation. I mean, it goes on. It says, this is a disgrace. It is why we need real tax reform. The ProPublica report comes as some Democratic lawmakers are pushing for a tax on billionaires, arguing that the nation's wealthiest citizens should pay more as a matter of fairness. During the pandemic, the collective net worth of America's roughly 700 billionaires surged by $2 trillion, thanks to a rise in stock prices and the values of their assets. Oh, God. This is just disgusting. All right, guys, that's all for this video. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping. And as always, fearless. Ciao.